way the caution been falling, they've been falling just right for Johnson. Makes it difficult for these guys to catch him.
15th place here. Harvick overcoming the penalty. And let's reiterate why he started 42nd. He was not moved to the rear. Rather, his qualifying time was disallowed, so he had to take a place in the field based on owner points. The final place is 42nd. The 43rd spot in the field reserved for the Champions Provisional or the next car on time. That's why Harvick's official starting position listed as 42nd. Joe Nemechek and Ryan Newman fighting it out there, second place.
It wasn't just a second ago that 5 car was dead sideways down the middle of 3 and 4. Did a great job of hanging on to it and bringing her back. It's been pretty racy.
In the 31 with Mike Bliss in the 0, battling Dale Jarrett. This is back at 18th position.
And Darrell, we saw this kind of racing at Fontana, California 2 weeks ago, and the fans may ask, well, why are we seeing better racing? I honestly believe now that maybe that little shorter rear spoiler on the deck lid back there, and plus the new tire combination, it's letting these guys get racy. It's creating a second, third group.
Well, I think what it does is you've got that coming and going thing that we talk about. I think some guys are really good on new tires and they can take off, like a Jimmy Johnson. Other guys like Kurt Busch and some of these guys, they're better over the long run, so they meet in the middle after a period of time.
Well, Kurt Busch is coming for sure after making 2 pit stops under that last caution, the second one to replace some loose lug nuts. He is back in the top 10 after 2 pit stops not that long ago.
And he definitely needs a caution or 2 to catch himself up. He's right up there in the 10th place right now, but he's 6.5 seconds behind Jimmy Johnson. See, Travis Quaffle in the 77 keeps clawing his way back. I think right now Casey Mears in the 41 is paying the price for those 2 right side tires. I think to get by with 2 right side tires, you had to have a really good handling race car, balance good.
Second place, the MB201. MB2 is the team ownership for Joe Nemechek, and here comes Jeff Gordon. They are fighting for second as we keep an eye on the 10th place battle. We talked at the top of the day about here we are at the house of Roush. Jack Roush's Fords, the winner of 5 out of 7 Cup races here, but it's Hendrick Power Chevrolets in the first 3 positions with 45 to go. These are the Hendrick Motorsport cars. They also provide power to MB2 MBB. Turn 2, Hermie Sadler impacts the inside wall. The Virginia driver was running in 30th position in his Peak Fitness Ford.
Honestly believe one of the biggest teams drivers that this caution benefits is Ryan Newman in that 12 car. He was starting to go backwards, I think, because of those 2 right side tires only. So I think as we look at him right here,
right side, I'd rather have it tight than loose. I'm not sure if it was the tires or the balance, but I think we should just leave it.
appears changing just those 2 right side tires maybe change the handling of the race car.
As we go to caution for the 10th time, quick rundown on car. Well, first let's show you what happened to Hermie Sadler.
Just gets up high down there in the middle of 1 and 2. Thing comes around on him and then heads down and hits the inside retaining wall.
Quick update on cars out of the race. Brian Vickers and Dale Earnhardt Jr. in a lap 13 crash, along with Bobby Labonte. Morgan Shepherd behind the wall with Robbie Gordon, Randy LaJoie out of the race, and Scott Riggs behind the wall under repair with 43 to go.
I think the other car that this caution benefits, we just talked about him 3 or 4 laps ago. He moved into the top 10. He's in 9th. Is Kurt Busch in that 97 car. He needed a caution or 2 as we see his crew ready for a 4-tire stop here, I'm sure, to catch back up. A lot of intensity in these pits. Well, every pit stop you have right now, you know this could be your last opportunity to make that car right.
Now, the drivers that last time took 2, like Casey Mears, restarted 2nd, fell back to 11th. Dave Blaney restarted top 5, fell back to 16th. Don't know if we'll see a lot of those two-tire changes.
I don't think
now.
I'd do that again. I think I'd come in and fix it. Fix it with 4 of them Mr. Feel-Goods.
There we see all 29 cars on the lead lap on pit road. John Andretti in the 14 was the free pass car. Jeannie.
17 and Matt Kenseth saying that this is the best the car has been all day. It was finally coming to him. But obviously the caution came out, much frustration there. But he was also concerned that he had a tire going down, front tire going down. But guys, I'm checking them out as they're coming off the car. Not seeing it yet. Matt?
Jimmy Finnick hasn't been able to work that loose condition out of Kurt Busch's Ford. They're going to try one more chance. An air pressure adjustment in the right front and a wedge adjustment. Steve?
Joe Nemechek just a little bit tight, wants a little air out of the right front, and a problem on the left rear tire of Joe Nemechek. Slow stop, Dick.
Jimmy Johnson came in as the leader, said the car is just a tick tight. Very fast race car, a nice pit stop for Jimmy Johnson.
I did not see anyone take just 2 tires. Looked like they were all 4 tire stops.
I think that was a good lesson learned there for a bunch of guys when they saw what happened to the 07 and those guys that took 2.
The real winner, though, I think, was Matt Kenseth. He has that first pit box coming on to pit road, gained 4 positions. And right there, though, you see his pit stop along with Ryan Newman was the fastest. Tony Stewart, Travis Quaffle, the slowest of the top 10. But I think you're right. Everyone changed 4 tires.
Good stop for the Killer Bees. Here's the runoff pit road.
Very close between Ryan Newman and the 12, Jeff Gordon in the 24. Pretty good stop for Greg Biffle in the 16 as well.
42 laps to go in Las Vegas. Watching NASCAR on Fox. Jimmy Johnson, Ryan Newman, Jeff Gordon, Greg Biffle, Kyle Busch in 5th ahead of Elliott Sadler, Kurt Busch, Matt Kenseth, Tony Stewart, and Travis Quaffle.
Ryan Newman in the 12, he moved straight to the top of the racetrack trying to get that runoff turn 2, but right now that 48 car, this is where he's strong, right after a restart.
Takes advantage of those 4 fresh ones every time.
Jimmy Johnson, who many folks thought 2 weeks ago, had that race at California been 1 more lap, might have been a victory lane instead of Greg Biffle.
No question about that one.
They were very relieved it was not the Auto Club 502.
Yes.
He's really good off of 4 on the bottom.
Right now you're looking back at Jeff Gordon in the 24 car, turns to the bottom, able to turn that throttle up and stay in it, and he'll take 2nd place away from Ryan Newman in the 12. I bet Ryan's not ready to give up, though, as they go off into turn 1.
But that's just what the spotter told Ryan. He's really good off of turn 4, off the bottom.
Well, Darrell, do you want to know where that car is better than you, or do you want to know where you are better than him?
Oh, no, right now, I mean, he's under attack, so you want to know where's he getting me at.
While these guys are side by side, it's pulling Greg Biffle in the 16 as well as Kyle Busch in the 5 right into the equation. And meanwhile, Jimmy Johnson in the 48, he's looking at his rearview mirror saying, you guys just keep racing side by side. But there's only 37 laps to go.
I tell you, the way that 48 car runs on these new tires, he's a 1/10 and a half. He's almost 2/10 quicker than those guys behind him.
Darrell, we're 230 laps into this race. We only have 36 to go. He just ran the fastest lap he's run in this race just a lap ago.
Smoker in turn 1. I think that's tire smoke on what
The 66 car, yeah. Got a little rub.
Won't be a factor. He'll be black flag as Rusty Wallace side by side with Kevin Harvick. This is for 16th.
And remember, Kevin Harvick in the 29, he's trying to overcome that pit road speeding penalty. Jeff Gordon still racing side by side with Ryan Newman in the 12 for 2nd.
And now he's got Greg Biffle. And how about Kyle Busch, the rookie in that 5? Many folks questioned, did he move up to Nextel Cup too early? Not if you're looking just at today's race. He's done a phenomenal job. For 19 years old, wow.
No, I think he took a lesson out of his brother's book, and I think he made the right move. They'll be happy he did that.
Car looks a lot like Jimmy Johnson.
Just hit your marks here, bud. Nice and smooth.
And Jeff Gordon's, he can turn to the bottom coming off the corner, which is such a key to running good here.
Whoa, 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 they're hooked together.
Yep, Newman got in the back of Jeff Gordon.
Let's go get him here, bud. Nice and
And there goes Kyle Busch and Biffle past them. Here comes Kurt Busch taking advantage.
Yeah, they just broke their momentum for that entire straightaway, and they both of them are going to lose 3 positions in about a third of a lap.
I think the 12 car got into the back of the 24, Gordon, and he just couldn't get off of him.
And that could have been a big wreck if either of those drivers had zigged or zagged.
See what happens here. The 12 gets down into turn 1 really, really good. He gets up under Jeff and make a little contact. Just sent Jeff up the hill just ever so slightly. A little bump and run there.
Yeah, they got Jeff real loose, and then Ryan had to jump out of the throttle to keep from running over him.
And look what the loss of momentum did to those two. It dropped them back to 5th and 6th when they were running 2nd and 3rd.
But it did move Kyle Busch in that 5 car up into the 2nd position. And a lot like Jimmy Johnson, about 4 laps ago, he ran his quickest lap of the race.
Jeff Gordon will fall back here for a second, y'all. He'll cool his jets, and then he'll come back. He just gave Newman a shot down the back.
How about this 3 wide? Nemechek trying to get back up in it. Bobby Hamilton Jr. on the bottom, and Joe says, no, that won't fit.
Battle for 13th on the right-hand side of your screen right there. And this battle right here between these two, it's not for 2nd anymore. It's for 5th, but it will not quit.
I think that's one of the products, the byproducts of that smaller spoiler, though. You get that close to the guy in front of you, it can loosen him up just enough to send him up the track. Of course, a little contact doesn't hurt anything either.
I've never seen side-by-side racing like this for so many laps at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
30 laps to go.
Watch this going down the back, Mike. This is kind of like, hey, buddy.
Wake-up call.
Appreciate that.
You can hear the RPM come up on the car. He lifted the rear of the car completely up off the ground.
Yeah, that wasn't a little shot there. That was lift off.
That was huge.
Yeah. Holy cow.
I think somebody told these guys there's only 30 laps to go.
Mayfield and Hamilton in that outside car came off the corner 3 abreast. So Rusty just said, well, you guys are looking at each other, trying to get your momentum back. I'm just going to shoot on down the bottom. And he did. Nice pass by Rusty Wallace. Picks him up to 13th. Jeannie.
It has been such a long day in the 17 pit of Matt Kenseth that, you know, the grocery list is getting long. With some wide black tape, they need some various oil parts, and you see here on the tire, they had to go shopping for tires, guys. They had to go buy about 2 full sets. The sold sign on this one, because the 17 will take it. The guys down here saying they can't believe how many cautions in this one. And quite honestly, they just were not prepared, so they had to go shop for some good years.
Yeah, what you do is you look at the history of the race, how many cautions you normally have, and that's kind of what you do as far as your sets of tires. And we've had 10 cautions. I don't think anyone figured on that many cautions here today. And every time the caution comes out, you have to come get 4 more tires.
At how much a set?
About $1,700, $1,800 a set.
Yeah, about $1,800.
Yikes.
And that doesn't matter if they're new or used. If you're buying them from someone else.
Kyle Busch from Las Vegas, 19 years old. He has already become the youngest driver to win a pole.